you're new, my name is Madison. If not, welcome back. It is currently the middle of the year, and with that comes a lot of reflection for me and just a lot of evaluation on what I want the coming 6 months to look like. And recently I've noticed that I've been buying a lot more things than I normally would. We have had a drastic change in lifestyle, to say the least, in the last couple of months. And with that has come a lot of furniture needs, home needs, maybe not even needs, but just wants. And I just want to be a little bit more intentional about what we are bringing into our home, how our resources and our finances are being spent and allocated, and just thinking about things that truly are going to bring value to my life, opposed to just bringing things that maybe only bring momentary happiness into my life. Such as things that you buy as like a quick little treat yourself at Target and things like that. And so today I am bringing to you 10 items that I am no longer going to buy for the remainder of 2023 and potentially onwards as well. Alright, so the first item I am no longer buying is going to be clothing. I moved a lot more clothes down here to Georgia than I even realized. And I've also decided and kind of learned about myself over the last couple months that I am currently just going through a period of change as far as just my personality, things that I like, my style, whether that be clothing or home or otherwise. And so I don't need to bring anything into my life that I'm not sure is really going to be my taste, my style, or even that fits me. Because recently I've also come to realize that clothes that may have fit last year don't necessarily fit like they did anymore. And so with that has come a lot of donations, hence the reason why I wanted to do a spring and summer cleanup. You can watch that if you want to. But I'm trying to be more intentional about my wardrobe, where my money is being spent, what companies I'm supporting by what I'm buying. A lot of the times I do try to buy things from a thrift store or a secondhand store, however that's not always the case, at least for me. Being that I am taller, I have to buy sometimes pants that are longs, which you can't readily find at most thrift stores and consignment shops. But I want to pare down my closet, find down clothes that are me and my style, and no longer bring any more clothes into my house, at least for the next couple of months, just to establish who I am now. The second item that I am no longer going to buy is notebooks and pens. I kid you not, I probably have at least 10, if not 12 of these notebooks or any kind of notebooks just laying around my house that are completely empty and or just have maybe 5 to 10 pages used. And while my family often gifts me notebooks because I am an avid user of them, there's realistically only so many that you can get through in a year. And so I've been carting them around from college to moving back home to moving to Kentucky and now moving to Georgia. And they haven't been used. There's no reason for me to just keep hoarding, and not only hoarding, but adding on to my collection of notebooks. And to that point, I am very particular about the pens that I like as well, and so everyone's given pens at any kind of get-together, holiday, company things. I cannot tell you how many pens I've acquired since my college days. There's probably easily 100 in this house, and I am embarrassed to say that, but that's just the truth. There's no reason for me to continue to bring more pens into this home when I should be taking them with me to work and giving them away freely. Especially the ones that aren't necessarily my favorite and or just are not comfortable for my hand. So with that, I will not be buying any more pens or notebooks, any kind of paper products whatsoever in the coming 6 months. The next group of items that I am no longer going to be buying or bringing into my home are any kind of storage bins, organization accessories, storage solutions. Anything in that category is no longer coming into my home for the next 6 months until I can properly go through my home, declutter, minimize the amount of things that we have, because we probably have duplicates of so many things, such as the notebooks and pens. And I am spending more money to organize the things that I already have and may not even want. And so with that, while it may be a time of transition in my home, I think it's for the betterment of our house and just our life in general that we don't keep wasting our time and our money on things that no longer bring us any kind of value. And so with that, I'm going to be decluttering my kitchen gadgets, things in my office, clothing, anything that you can think of that you would buy a storage solution or a storage bin for is not coming into this home for the foreseeable future until we can establish what actually brings us value. The fourth group of items that I am no longer going to be buying is any kind of hobby supplies. In the last 2 years, I've managed to collect colored pencils, markers, coloring books, painting supplies, knitting supplies, candle making things, sourdough. Whatever you can think of, I've probably managed to collect in the last couple of months to a couple of years, and with so many different options available, I find that I've never developed any kind of skill necessarily in any of the above, nor have I ever spent a considerable amount of time on any of them. I've more so jumped from one hobby to the next hobby without finding any enjoyment or any change in skill level in any of them. And so with that, after realizing how much I already have, I want to no longer bring any new hobby supplies into my house and focus on those that I already do have. Maybe just rekindling old hobbies that I've let go to the wayside. The fifth item that I am no longer bringing into our home is candles. While I do think that there's something so cozy and ambient about candles just spread throughout the home, I have so many candles. I have probably a good 20 pillar candles, many of which in different states of being burned. And so with that also usually comes residual candles too, which I have found a lot of joy in turning residual candle wax into a whole new candle just by mixing it with essential oils and obviously a new wick. But with that, having so many candles around our home, there is no reason for me to be bringing more into our home. And another thing is, I do think that there are other ways and potentially better and safer ways to be bringing in that cozy atmosphere and that inviting smell, such as with essential oils and diffusers, or the stovetop pots that just humidify the air with whatever you have in them. And so with that being said, I'm no longer bringing in any more candles into our home, even throughout the Christmas time, which is probably going to be the hardest thing for me. The sixth item that I'm no longer going to be buying are nail polishes. Again, I have established quite a collection, probably more than I can even get through before they dry out anyways. And while I've now grown a preference towards pastel shades, it will be fun to go back through some of the ones that I've had since middle school and see if I still like them, and if not, they probably are so old that it's just time to toss them anyways. And so with that, I want to actually just go through my nail polish collection and either use it up, toss it out, and donate what can be donated before buying any more nail polishes. Especially, I know that I go for white and like a pastel pink, but I have so many different shades of that already upstairs in my bathroom that I just need to work through as it is. No one's going to notice a 2 or 3 shade hue difference, and so with that, I'm no longer going to be bringing in any more nail polishes, probably for several years based on the collection that I have upstairs, and will slowly be working through my collection. So if you see any kind of random pops of color on my nails in the coming future, you know why that is. Okay, so another thing that I am no longer going to be buying are books. I am an avid reader. My goal originally this year was to just read 1 book a week, but I think now I'm going to increase my goal to 100 books in a year, which is a little bit shy of 2 books in a week. But with that comes obviously a lot of collections, and so if you are not mindful about what you're bringing into your home, especially when it comes to books, something that you're buying maybe once or twice a week in that case, then it's easy to just have things lying around all the time. And with having a very beautiful and stocked library and the recent gift of a Kindle, I have no reason to be buying books of my own, especially when I don't have any intention, more than likely, of displaying most of these books. So from now on, I'm just going to be relying on the Kindle that I have and getting books from the library, whether that be in person or through the Libby app. If you've not heard of either of those or you don't regularly use your local library, I highly encourage you to do so. I have learned that all libraries are not necessarily equal recently, but there are still definitely many books to read, and I'm sure more than you can get through in the time that you were possibly living there, so feel free to check it out. It's your tax dollars going to work after all, so you might as well use it. The next group of items that I'm no longer going to be bringing into our home is any kind of kitchen appliances or kitchen gadgets. We probably have enough to stock a small restaurant with kitchen appliances. Whether that originally had been pots and pans, any kind of cooking tools, mixing bowls, spatulas, etc. I don't know how we've accumulated so much. I'm assuming it more than likely came from our wedding and a lot of wedding gifts. I had this guilt complex that if someone gave us something, we had to hold on to because there was so much love and intention put behind it. But there's only so many spatulas that you can use, or sets of mixing bowls. We were somehow gifted 6 different sets of mixing bowls during our wedding and engagement season, as well as so many cooking so many cooking tools and gadgets like spatulas, strawberry pluckers, like anything you can think of. We were probably gifted it because everyone knows that my husband and I are both foodies. And as foodies and self-proclaimed home chefs, we have spent a lot of our time together just cooking and exploring things in the kitchen. And so with that, we have enough as it is, and there is no reason to continue to bring more into our home. And also I think this would allow us to just use what we have more and develop our skills with what we already have. One of the things I loved and wanted so badly was a KitchenAid stand mixer, and for that I also wanted the pasta attachment. And while I originally thought that we'd be making homemade pasta once a week, quite frankly we maybe make it every 2 weeks, every month, and I would like to make that more of a regular special occasion in our home. But after having so many different kitchen gadgets and things that you want to use, you just don't often find the times to use things that you originally so passionate about and excited to get to use. So we are going to pare down what we already have and no longer bring in any additional kitchen appliances. The 9th group of items that I'm no longer going to be bringing into my home and or buying are any kind of cheap furniture. When we were young, broke newlyweds with obviously a limited budget, we spent money on furniture that we knew wasn't going to last just to get us through the season. But now, after a different life circumstance at this point in time, there's no reason for us to be buying cheap furniture that's poorly made that may not even last our next move. Like, I kid you not, our nightstands, as cute as I think they are, you can just barely push them. You could probably breathe on them and they move and just blow back and forth. And so with that, I don't want to bring any more crappy furniture into our home. I want to have things that are going to be reliable, sturdy, and just stand the test of time. I think back to my great-grandmother's house of some of the furniture items that my grandmother now has in her home, and very well may be passed down to future generations. And I want that for myself too. I want to spend money just one time, hopefully, on something that is quality, that's never really going to go out of style, or at least my style, and something that if I would want to one day pass down to a future generation, and I know it's going to last for them as well. In fact, we were blessed enough to be donated a few pieces of furniture around our home from family as well that they've had long before I was even born. And so I thank them for that, and I want to be able to do that for our future kids, or just people that we know as well. So, with that being said, I am no longer going to be buying any cheap furniture. I'll spend the extra money if I need to, and or I'll scour the thrift stores, Facebook Marketplace, anything that you can think of to find quality furniture at a good, affordable price. That's what I'm going to do from now on. I'm tired of things that are falling apart before you even got them out of the box, and I'm sure you are too. So with that being said, no more cheap furniture, like none of it. Okay, so the last item or group of items that we are no longer going to be purchasing are any kind of streaming services. We have throughout the years probably cycled through maybe a good 4 to 5 of them, most of them being things that just consume your time in a way that's not adding value to your life. Don't get me wrong, my husband and I love to cuddle up on the couch, enjoy 1 or 2 episodes of TV here and there, or a movie on the weekend, but quite frankly, having a Netflix binge or just binging any kind of TV show on a regular basis doesn't exactly fit with our life goals and values at this time. And so with that, we are not going to be adding any more streaming services to our collection being just the one, that being Hulu. And so if we want to buy or use a different streaming service, we will then have to discontinue the use of Hulu or whatever one we are using at said time, as I do not want to increase the availability of different media options for us to consume, whether that be TV shows, movies, or etc. Alright guys, so those are the 10 items that I no longer intend to buy for the remainder of at least 2023, just to be a little bit more mindful with our resources, whether that be financial or other. And I hope this video made you think about what's important to you in your life and how you're currently spending your money. It is unfortunately so easy to get caught up in the consumer cycle that most of us fall into. As in, you buy a new piece of furniture, and for the new piece of furniture you want to buy new decor for it. Or you get a new home and you want to furnish your home. I can thoroughly relate to that, I promise you. But right now I just want to be intentional with our time and money, and these items are not things that I find that are going to bring us any kind of joy or satisfaction, at least for the coming months, and or things that I'm just happy to live without for the time being. And so with that, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys try this out for yourself. If you do, please leave a comment down below of the things that you are giving up and no longer buying for the remainder of the year. Bye guys.